Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
This is Coach Kev of Damage 365 Radio and Promotions, and you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101. Keep it right there.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too. And I also want to save 10%, so head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today I'm joined by Jay Wise and the Icon Magic. How's it going, guys?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
Doing great. Jay?
What's up, Andrew? How you doing?
Good, man. Finally, you guys are here talking to us about wrestling. We're going to talk about some of your career highlights. And, Jay, we're going to talk about being a manager and what does it take to be a great manager, like you do. Magic, let's talk about this, man. When you first discovered professional wrestling, right, what was the first thing that you saw that got you in? And also, Jay Wise, for you, too, what was the thing that captured you?
You want me to go first?
Hey, go ahead. You go first, Magic.
Well, the first thing caught me on about wrestling is my mother. I used to watch wrestling when Ivan Putski, the Mighty Igors, Superstar Billy Graham, Dusty Rhodes when he came to WWF. Mm-hmm. That caught me when I was about around 4 or 5 years old. She'd been watching wrestling for years. And truthfully, my mother wanted to be a wrestler.
Really?
Yeah, at that time it was hard for women to get in schools. There was no real schools in New York. Mm-hmm. So she would have to travel, and she couldn't afford to travel because she had a kid too,
Yeah.
Me.
It must be hard, right? Especially at that time too, right? For women, right?
Yeah, it was rough.
Luckily nowadays the women revolution is just in full force, and not only in WWE but even in prior years. If you look at Impact Wrestling, JAP, I mean, some pioneers, Shimmer, of course, and Glow. I mean,
yes,
different world, right, from when you grew up.
Yes, it was a total difference. You had to go to.
I
think it was about 2 women were training women only,
mm-hmm.
and I believe one was Muda. I don't know who the other one is.
Yeah, right, there were attraction matches at that time, right? Yeah. So, yeah, Jay Wise, for you, what was the moment for you that you found wrestling?
1995, I saw Shawn Michaels on TV, and I just was enamored and fell in love with everything and the showmanship. Obviously I'm not much of an athlete, but I found that you could kind of like live vicariously through, your favorite wrestlers on TV.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I mean, I started watching around the same 95. Those are still some of those fond moments for me. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker and the purple gloves, right? I mean,
yep, the purple gloves.
How cool was that,
adjust the purple glove,
And Saturday at 6:05 on the Superstation,
yes.
Watching like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, then Nitro blew my mind.
You babies. Y'all babies, man. I used to wait to 12 midnight on Channel 9 to watch wrestling, and none of y'all know nothing about UHF at that time, boy.
UHF
used to turn all those channels. Oh, there goes wrestling for North Carolina or something. Or Florida Championship Wrestling. We used to catch on.
Oh, that's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
Florida Championship.
My old days.
Yeah, that's crazy because, I remember, I don't know about you, but growing up, it was always Raw, WWE and WCW. And then when ECW was like on TV, I had no interest in it. And now I can't stop watching ECW. I'm like, I was so stupid back then. Like, what was I thinking?
Like I said, a lot of people, if you're a wrestler fan, I started, we all become marks. Everybody, I'm never a mark. Yeah, how you become a wrestler if you're not a mark? When I was young, it was always Florida Championship Wrestling.
Sure.
you know, you had to go, like I said, you had to go to that second channel. At that time, you know, you turn all these channels to catch it. I was so bad in loving wrestling. I used to watch a Mexican wrestling show for kids.
Really?
When I was a kid. Yeah, I was about maybe 8, 9 years old. It was a Mexican program. And it was like the same 4 wrestlers, but they changed different outfits. And there was 1,000 little kids. And a lot of people didn't understand. I used to watch it. It was like, if I ever could find the name of that wrestling, I will watch it again and see how stupid it was.
You know, so, you know, some time had passed from you watching it as a kid and transitioning. Did you always keep that interest with it, or was it something that, you know, kind of came and go as your later years came?
I still love wrestling. You know, I watch it when I can. I like watching a lot of independent wrestling.
Sure.
They're more, I'm not saying they're the best, but they're more interesting. They're more close to the crowd. And you see things like, ooh, I'll never do that. He fucked that up. Excuse my language.
Yeah, it's okay.
But, you know, you see the mistakes in independence and you're more closer into it and you get to talk to the workers.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in WWE, it's really hard to talk to the worker because they're busy shooting in and out. You know, that's their job.
Yeah, right.
They entertain, then go in the back and get nursed up or whatever happens to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, I always say this to my friends who like in the independent wrestling, and like, if you're a startup company, you need 3 guys on your show, Monster Mac, Damoff, and Magic, to be a legitimate company, in my opinion.
Oh,
like, like, to me, it's like the founding fathers right there.
Yeah,
you know,
I appreciate that, but I'm nothing special. I never thought I was. I'm just lucky those guys that can carry me. Let's put it that way. I really did nothing special in wrestling. I just have fun, man. I love the sport.
Yeah, I mean, you've been around for so long. I mean, like, you have to be considered one of the forefathers of this sport. I mean, out here at least.
You know, like I tell everybody, the guys that was training with me, that trained under me, they say, I just appreciate they did that because they took a trust in me. You know, those guys are 10 times better than me now. They're doing their thing, you know, and I appreciate to see these guys make it to TV and stuff. But actually, I really do nothing for them to really get there. I just show them the basics, and if you love this sport, they went the way, you know. I appreciate them because they taught me too, as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel the same way when you see somebody graduate that, you know, you saw work with Magic close hand, or somebody who took his advice?
Magic is very humble. He doesn't like to take credit. There's not a single show in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware area that doesn't have somebody that was trained by Magic on it. And it doesn't matter. You know, he didn't send LAX to TNA.
Yeah.
But he started the fire.
Sure.
It doesn't matter.
Sure.
The fire grows and grows. Magic started the spark. So it doesn't. He won't take credit for it because that's a credit to how he is as a person. But there's a lot of guys. You go talk to Santana from LAX about how much Magic means to him, and he'll tell you everything there is.
Yeah, I mean, it must feel kind of good knowing that you're a cornerstone of people's success, and even your own success too, because you had some acknowledgement from your peers, the Hall of Fame, your birthday celebration at SWF. I mean, these people, they respect your craft and what you've been able to do.
I appreciate that, you know, I really do. But, you know, sometimes I feel like I really don't deserve it, you know. There's a lot of guys, you know, I think they should be like Iron Mike Sharp, the one who helped me train. A guy called Bobby Piper, you know, those guys are like, you know, like Supernova and all those guys. I think they're more credible than I was because they're the stars, you know, they've been on TV and everything. I have never been on a big TV show, you know, The Last, or anybody know me, you know. I'm mostly a local dude, just got lucky. Truthfully, I just got lucky. I'm glad these guys keep me around. Because, you know, I'm really taking the spot of a young dude. But I enjoy wrestling, man. It's my love. It's my life, man.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned local because there's no more local with the internet. I mean, everything is at the fingertips of anybody. You can catch any wrestling show. I mean, there's streaming networks with CCW, and those are sometimes well produced than some of the stuff you see on TV sometimes. Right. You know, so it's crazy that, I mean, you can find some of your matches on there too. So it's crazy, like, you can literally watch a local show, but it could feel more international than, like you said before. the indie shows are more impersonal,
Right.
and instead of WWE, which is a little bit more impersonal, like
Right.
you know.
Yeah, it's a business. WWE
Sure.
is a real business, and I don't know how they perceive it. Me, I love to be with the crowd. I like sitting talking to people.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a difference. If I was ever a WWE fan, they would know more about my life than anything else. I'm a jokester. I lie to them. I'll bullshit. I'll do the bullshitting. I love the bullshit and lie my ass off. But they know I'm lying because I start laughing. And it's like, I'm only fucking with you. And stuff like that. But like I said, if it wasn't for fans and friends, my wrestling friends, they become friends. My
Sure.
family. Truthfully, out of wrestling, I really don't have that many friends. If it wasn't for wrestling, I had very handful of friends. I always stayed to myself, and I was very shy. A lot of people don't believe I was a shy guy, and everybody can tell you I was very shy until I got into wrestling. I opened up, and then the older I got, I'm like, I don't care what I say anymore. I talk crazy, so who cares? I'm old now.
Yeah.
I'm getting my senior citizen card. Wait until I get that. Oh my God. I feel bad for a lot of people. I'm like, I'm a senior citizen. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's funny that you said that. Yeah, Jay-Wise, did you feel the same way? Does wrestling give you a sense of community outside of your bubble?
Absolutely. I actually don't the same way as Magic. I don't have a lot of friends outside of wrestling because once you get involved in wrestling, everything's wrestling. During the week, wrestling. On the weekends, wrestling. And like Magic, like I don't even consider Magic a friend. Magic's like my wrestling dad.
Sure.
And he'll say he's like a, grandfather and uncle, whatever he is. You feel so. I know you've talked about it on previous shows. You could sit with Magic and have a conversation, and you feel like he's your best friend
Yeah.
after talking to him one time.
I remember my first time I actually got to sit with you. It was in between you and like Matt Tremont, and is another guy too who's a cornerstone of this industry. And it was like
Love
so
that
weird because I had never, right. And I'm in the locker room, a strange locker room, and I'm sitting next to you, and you're just like, "What's going on, man?" And I'm like, I don't feel like I belong here, and you just made me feel so welcome. You and Mr. Tremont, and it was an awesome experience. And I'm like, wow, the two guys that like, who really he identified with deathmatch wrestling, and you have been doing this for so long that you can adapt to any style. I feel like
37 years, man. I my hardest years with a company called New Jack City, and
sure.
that was hardcore and it was another guy named Chino Martinez. He was not a hardcore guy, but they made us hardcore wrestlers. With Kane D. At that time, they were called NC-17. And basically, you always see me, you see them. When you see them, I was around.
Yeah.
We would always stick together. We were like brothers in the business. And, we got older, everybody, once you get established, everybody has to set their own ways. I wish I had a big clique, like everybody else got the clique that, I'm going to North Carolina, so you come with me. We had the struggle to get shows. I didn't have that clique family, them people that look out for me. I had to look out for us. Always been me, Chino, and KD. We had to look for us. And, they had to do their things when their lives spread, and I kept going. My best friend, and a lot of people don't know, is a guy named Tony Bartolome. And we are been friends over 30, 40 years. And actually, he's the one who really got me into wrestling. More into mainstream wrestling. I did the little crappy wrestling on the outside, Corso wrestling schools and companies. They were basically backyard companies. They come in one day and they're going the next. They make a few dollars. And we've been through a lot together. And like I said, I got into a wrestling school and really got to learn. And I took me a year out of wrestling. A lot of people don't know that. I took a year off of wrestling just to learn the craft better.
Yeah.
I used to go in, this guy named, I don't even remember his name. He had a company, and he only taught me how to go over the top rope for his son to look like a champion.
Yeah.
And all I did is get beat up, get thrown out of the ring. I didn't even know how to throw a punch right. And then I finally went to wrestling school, And I was like, fuck this. Excuse my language. I was like, fuck this. I want to learn how to wrestle. I want to try and make some money. And I went into wrestling, and I learned I ain't making no money. I was paying them to teach me.
Wow. It's crazy, how your development must have been so much different from the guys nowadays. That they kind of get pampered now, right? A little bit.
Well, it's way different when I started. You had to know how to take a ring apart. You know how to sweep you had to be security when you first started. You wasn't jumping in the ring. You was like helping people walk to the chairs and escorting them, doing the camera. If they want you to be a ref, you was a ref. It's not like now these guys don't even know how to take a ring down. Some of these guys don't even take rings down. Mm-hmm. But it's a whole different world. School's only looking for money. Mm-hmm. Give me $10,000, you could be a wrestler. And you can't promise nobody that. And when they was going to Jersey All Pro, when I started really training, was at Jersey All Pro. Mm-hmm. And I was a nobody anyway. And I took up what Iron My Sharp taught me, and I trained guys the way I wanted to be treated. I wouldn't want to go to school. I watched people in schools beat the shit out of their students and took their money. Yeah. And they quit. But they still had to pay them back. And I felt like this: if you came to school to become a wrestler, I'm gonna try to make your dreams come true, and I'll work hard with you. Mm-hmm. If you want to quit, I get mad when you quit. A lot of guys from Jersey All Pro school could tell you the same. I get mad. I'll call you. Why you're not coming to school?
Really? You call them?
Oh, wow. I call them, man. You guys. You can ask a lot of those guys. I used to call people, hey, man, where you at, man? Why you ain't in the school? Mm-hmm. And some had problems with money. Don't worry about it. I'll fill it in. Mm-hmm. When Jersey All Pro opened, we only paid $10 a section. Mm-hmm. And I used to pay it out my money, out of my pocket. I used to lose $100 a week.
Really? Is that because you believed in JAP, or did you just believe in the students of JAP more?
I believed in wrestling. Mm-hmm. And, I wasn't a superstar, still not a superstar. I wasn't nobody famous, anything, but I learned what Iron My Sharp taught me. Learned something from Gino Garuso. Learned a lot from Pedro Morales. You learn from each teacher. Mm-hmm. Even, what the hell is his name? Tiger Mask. He had a school in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And you learn from each teacher. And each teacher you put together and you learn how you want to be treated. I wanted to be treated right. I didn't want to be spoiled, but I wanted to learn how to wrestle. Sure. And if I didn't know how, I need somebody to sit there and try to really train me, not to try to embarrass me or anything. And that's something I didn't feel like people have to. If you see a guy trying, don't break his spirit. Make him keep coming.
Yeah. Do you feel that same way with him when he teaches you J-Wise? Does he call you and say, "What are you doing? Like, we need to get you here"?
He, like I said before, he's like a wrestling dad to me. He'll call me up and say, "What are you being an asshole? You got to do this. You got to do this. I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna kick your ass. You got to do this." And like I didn't go to wrestling school. I like walked in the back door, but it's people like Magic that. My advice to anybody that wants to get involved in wrestling is to go to wrestling school. But if you don't, sit down with people like Magic and learn as much as you can. There's a lot of people. Sit down with the veterans. Learn as much as you can. Because it's tough. It's not all, there's a lot of bullshit involved. And it's not all, people just see the moves. There's so much more than that. But you definitely need to talk to people like Magic because he will call you up. He used to call me. It would be 10 o'clock at night. I'd just fall asleep. He'd call me and say, "Get up. I got to tell you something." I'll say, "What?" He'll say, "It's bedtime. Go to bed." And then hang up the phone. But it's you need to sit down with people like Magic and talk their ear off and learn as much as you can.
Sure. It's so funny that you mentioned Magic because, Monster Mac, he's always been a great friend to me. And I'll message him too, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm thinking about this." And he's like, "Oh, no, you should definitely do that." And I'm like, "Really? Like, you think that's a good idea or something?" Or if he thinks it's a bad idea, he's like, "No, it's just a bad idea." And I'm like, "All right, I'm an idiot." But he always is so supportive of everything that I always ask him. He always makes out time too. And you said, seek out some older talent. And it's the one guy like under the learning tree that and even you, like I see you at the shows, and I'm like, I always should make it to go over to a point to see you. And I made this analogy the other day. like it's like a Christmas tree. Every time I see you, like a different part of that tree lights up. I'm just like, I just want the whole thing to light up at once. I'm like a kid because you just have this great energy and positive vibes. And every time I see you, you just make me so happy. And then you always tell me something, like you telling me about the charity work that you've done over the years. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a sad part because, like I said, I used to do that hospital and watch. I can't even say that word right.
Hospital.
Yeah.
You're
Can't
close.
get it right. Can't get it out. I used to go there all the time during Christmas, and when you have kids and you go home and you're upset because I used to do Harlem Hospital, and then we used to run to Staten Island because I lived in Staten Island. I used to do Staten Island University, and it used to be called St. Vincent's. Now it's Rumsey. I used to go there, and you watching kids that got cancer, they're not going to make it. You see kids in there that don't have no parents there, just want to be whole. And I thank Staten Island University because they always had an open door for me. The other hospitals, like Harlem Hospital, always had an open door. That's where it started. It started with me in a group called New Jack City, and Charles started me with that. And his name was Lucifer. And Charles McCoon is the first one who started me to go to the hospital with charities and stuff like that, posters and stuff like. And I'd never seen kids' faces lit up, so I used to make deals with Hostess. And I used to get the Twinkies and the cupcakes. They used to give me the sheets called the bright cover. They used to give me 2 of those. And I used to go in the hospital and give them away and give the candies and fake WWE, the wrestling dolls. I used to go to the 99-cent store and make deals with them called Green something. They used to send it to me for 50 cents a doll because I told them what I did. And about 6 years ago, I was in the hospital and I saw a little boy. He was going to die, and they told me he had much to live. And you go home every Christmas. I'm upset. I could cry, and I hug my kid. And the wife put her foot down and said, "Enough is enough." She said, "Yeah, I can't have you coming in here with emotional." And I'm a little tearing up right now. Yeah. But it's sad to see kids are sick. I don't think any kid should be sick and have nobody for Christmas.
Yeah.
One day when I was having my son, there was another kid there. And it was a little boy, and the woman just dropped him off at the hospital and walked away. Yeah. And I wanted this kid. We was there for a week, and I kept going in the room playing with the kid. And it was like he's up for adoption. I went home, I ran to the door, I said, "Hey, let's adopt this kid." Mom, I said, "You can't afford the one we got now." And I was like, "Come on." And I was really upset with her. She could tell you, man. I really was upset. And then the second time I went, same thing, man. I love children, man. Yeah. And that's my thing, man. If I ever was rich, I have 1,000 kids in my house, man. Yeah. With 1,000 mamas still.
It's crazy because some of these kids, they grew up watching you and various places, and to see your evolution and you must have seen some of these kids grow too with you over the years. It must be a really odd feeling, right?
It's weird to see somebody you trained.
Yeah.
And they're grown men. And they losing hair on top of their head. Really? And you're like, wow. I'm like, dude, you look older than me. And everybody, I'm like, damn, how long you been doing this? And they be telling me, oh, I've been in wrestling for 20 years. I'm like, damn, I feel old. And, you watch guys that come up to you and say, hey, I watched you when I was 5 years old. And here I am, 55, going to be 55, and I'm looking at him like, wow, I've been around that long? How old are you, kid? And he's like, yeah, I'm 32. I'm like, really?
Yeah, wow.
You feel old.
Man. Well, I gotta ask you though, what's the no pun intended, the magic of a long lasting career?
I want to wrestle till I can't wrestle no more,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want nobody to retire me. I don't want nobody to tell me it's time for me to leave. I want to be the guy who tells myself it's time for me to leave. Mm-hmm. I hate when people try to retire. If I don't have it, I'll feel I don't have. I'm getting slower because I'm older. I don't take as much risk no more, but I still like to get in there. I don't care if I win or lose. I just having fun. Let me be me.
Mm-hmm. When you do decide to hang it up, have you thought about this? Have you called your shot in your head at least? Your Babe Ruth moment, how you like to go, or is it just just the way you came in, just however it ends?
I just gonna, like I tell everybody, it's not gonna be a big celebration because I think that'll be the saddest day of my life. Because I've been wrestling for almost 37 years. I've been watching wrestling since I was 5 years old. Maybe younger. You don't remember how. You'd ask me what I did 6 years old. I couldn't tell you.
Sure.
Some people can tell you that, but I can't. That's all I knew. It was wrestling, football, and boxing. That was my life. But otherwise, I would just retire quietly.
Really?
I would just don't say nothing. I'd be like, yo, thank you, goodbye. I don't want no celebration or anything. I just want to fade out.
Really? That's like probably a nice way to go out, right? It's just the way you want to do,
Yeah.
like you said, yeah. JOI's, you're doing some managing and stuff like that. What are some of your aspirations? Do you want to take managing even further, or you want to do interviews backstage, or whatever they want? If they just give you a different role, do you want to just progress and do other things?
I've been talking to my wrestling dad, Magic, and he tells me I need to kind of like grab the brass ring, and go for more. So I'd like to start not necessarily managing other places, but working on the craft more and doing it, and maybe like commentary or backstage stuff. Just getting involved in other avenues.
Sure.
He's lying.
He's
I'm
lying.
gonna tell you, he wants to do his own shows.
Well, yeah. Well, I would like to be a promoter. He's not wrong.
Yeah, you hear it all every day. If I ride with him today, he'll be telling me, "Yo, let's have this match with this and this and this and this." Get the fucking do it.
Yeah, I mean, that must
money. It's all about money. If you don't have the right connections and the right money, I'm not gonna bullshit with you. You want to make sure your wrestlers get paid or fed.
Sure.
Those are the two things. You gotta ask them to come do a show for you, but make sure you have something there for them to eat and stuff. You want to save them money because a lot of wrestlers don't get paid.
Sure.
And I feel bad because you're a promoter. You feed them. $20 really don't mean nothing. But if you can give him $20 and feed him, it's a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't cost much to feed workers. You buy a whole bunch of chicken, you buy a big ass hero, and drink a lot of soda, and there you go, soda, Gatorade, and water. Water is the cheapest thing you can buy because it's free. It comes out of the sink.
Yeah. It's it's kind of funny that you said that he wants to be a promoter. That's like the ultimate job, right? It's like playing with your own action figures. You can make your own storylines. You're the boss. You can literally manipulate anything you want there. That's a pretty cool thing to be, to aspire to be too, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot. Being involved in SWF, it's I don't know if inspirational is the right word, but like as far as being, kind of like studying under other promoters, like Chad with his standalone stuff, and Rob Fury. Definitely, you're learning a lot about promoting from those two.
Yeah, they don't take a day off, those two.
Oh, yeah.
They never take I don't think I've ever seen Chad take a day off.
Chad's cell phone is actually glued to his hand. He never puts it down.
Yeah, it's.
You forgot Bill too, man.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
Bill.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Yeah,
if you're
Bill.
listening, Billy Fetsky, yes,
Bill works his ass off.
For real.
Bill works like 7 jobs,
Yeah, well, you
and
also
5 of them are wrestling.
you also have some beef with Billy, right? You in a little dance contest, right? Dance battle.
I say I won. He hit me in the back of the head. He's got problems with Rob. That's between them. But I say I won the dance contest.
Would you like to get back in there for a rematch for the dance test? Now that you know that there's some sneaky stuff that has gone on, I mean, now you have full 20/20 vision. Would you challenge him again?
I say, definitely, yeah. Billy, if you're listening, I challenge you again to a dance contest. No hijinks, Baby Shark, any kind of song you want to play, I challenge you.
Baby Shark. Well, that's exclusive right here. I mean, that is some daunting words. I wouldn't want to be up there dancing. But
Hey, we'll call you in there, Andrew. You could be the
I have a heart
guest
condition.
guest judge. You could be the judge.
I can be the judge. All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I bet you a couple of naked, beautiful women in there. I bet your heart be okay then, right?
It's select heart condition. Oh man, but it's funny because standalone wrestling and SWF and Pro Wrestling After Dark, they're part of that trifecta, right? And they're bringing people in from all different shows. And you found out firsthand about that Magic when you and Mac were attacked
Yeah.
by the rep.
Yep.
You know, sneak-handed attack after you won the tag team titles.
You know, I just put it this way. If that's the way you gotta get known, you gotta get known that way. You know, they did what they had to do.
Sure.
You know, I have no hate. You know, I'm gonna get back my revenge no matter what. You know, but they had to get known. So that's the best way to do it. What they had to do, they had to do. If I was young like that, I'd probably do the same thing. Attack the champions to get people to know who we are.
Yeah.
You know, fortunately, I had to get stitches in the eye. You know, revenge is a motherfucker. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I see him at certain shows. I can jump in and beat the hell out of one of them and run out. You know, I can do that, but I'm not going to do that.
How's the eye right now?
He's 100, man.
Really?
100, yeah.
Oh, good to hear.
Yeah, you know.
You know, we're talking about the trifecta. You know, they can bring any team they want, right? It's open market now. It
Right.
seems like it's really, it's getting my heart excited when they were talking about the possibilities of any match from anywhere, working with different promotions. It's really unheard of,
Exactly.
right? So, who are some of the teams that you were looking out for that you'd like to face?
Like I
Or-
said, Steve Mack put it out. We open challenge any tag match. I don't care who I wrestle. You know, I'm just there to have fun and hurt somebody. That's my job, is to hurt somebody. You know, and their job is to not let me hurt them. But I would love to get in the ring with the LAX again. I would love to get in the ring with Homicide and Loki if they want to team up. You know,
Sure.
Steve Mack and not Steve Mack. Mafia
And, Sean Donovan.
Sean Donovan.
Sent to Slaughter.
Oh, Sent to Slaughter, man. These are new coming up tag team. They look good.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, I'll take on Tara and what's her husband? Her future
Jeff?
husband.
Oh yeah, Tara
Jeff.
Calloway and Jeff
And
Cannonball.
yeah. Why not? You know, let's go for it. You know, let's bring something new. Tara could look like she can hold her own. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
bring them in. You know, hey, there's nothing wrong about me beating down a woman. Once in a while, a woman needs to beat down. I'm only joking. Nah. She might kill me.
Who, Jay, same question to you. Who would you like to see? You know, these guys wrestle for the tag team titles. You know, Mac and Magic.
Wow, what a loaded question. I'd like to. A lot of the teams he said, I agree with. I'd like to see heavy hitters against a lot of these other so-called top teams, and I don't say so-called in a disrespectful sense, but like if you're a tag team champion somewhere, you got to be ready to take anybody on. Anybody. You know, people could say, "Oh, Magic and Mac, they're old." Magic and Mac will beat you up and hurt you bad. They might laugh about it, but they're still going to beat you up. They're two serious guys. Like, if
Yeah.
you could fight, you could fight. It doesn't matter how old you are. I've seen Magic do stuff to people that doesn't look like stuff a grandfather would do, but he's done it and he laughs about it. He pulls on his beard. But, you know, I'd like to see a lot of these top teams sent to Slaughter, LAX, even like the Lucha Brothers. I'd like to see
Oh,
them.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
a different size team.
Chris Dickinson and Jaga.
Yes, the Doom
Yeah.
Patrol. I'd
Yeah.
like to
Team
see that.
Azuzu, yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
these top teams.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was just watching you at Warriors of Wrestling face the Dirty Daddy himself. I mean, it's crazy how these guys are still killing it, you know? And you know, I remember watching guys like Pinky Sanchez, and now
Yeah.
Sanchez now, El Presidente. But, like, you know, these guys, Jaka, I mean, Team Pazuzu, the whole crew, it's amazing how they still progress.
And it's funny, I trained them all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, Chris Dickinson is one of my toughest students I ever had. Jaga was one of them. Santana is my last student, actually. Yeah, he's my last student. You know, and I would love to open a school again, you know, and just train. If I retire, that's what I want to do, just train. Give people chances to wrestle, you know. I want to open a school where I wish I can open a school and train free. You know, you can always make money on student shows. If whoever wants to invest into a school or something, you know, not just me, but a lot of new guys are coming. You know, wrestling changed. You know, I'm watching. Who's that kid who was watching at the last SWF show? Was doing a cinema.
Brandon Kirk?
Brandon Kirk.
Yeah.
No, Brandon Kirk, you know, he's a newer, younger kid, and things he was saying, I was like, he's totally right. You know, the auditional is actually falling away, and I've always been against the auditional. You know, I was like, that 1, 2, 3 elbow, hit the rope. Why not hit the guy real hard, turn around, hit him again, and then hit the rope? You know, that 2, 3 elbows is like, you know, I stomping your feet. You know, it's done with. You know, and I believe in that. You know, if I'm gonna punch in your face, I'm not gonna stomp my feet and punch in your face. I'm gonna punch in your face.
Yeah,
You know.
Well, don't hit me in my face because
No. But I'm just
I
saying.
get what you're saying.
Wrestling changed.
Yeah.
By the years, it changed.
Sure.
You know, like now it's, you know, I'm not a flipper. I'm not going to flip 1,000 moves to prove something. That's not my style.
Sure.
My style is a grounder. I am a wrestler. You know, if you want to be a flyer, hey, you'll fly right into the elbow. You know, I'm the guy who likes. You want to jump? Go ahead. I'm going to be right there with my fist, punch you in your face. You want to do backflips? Why not clothesline you when you get off your feet? Wow, fuck it. I'm going to end your career.
Yeah. You know what I really like? Because I was watching you too. I mean, you were at WoW, right? And that I mean, it's kind of like training there, right? Because you're getting in the ring with guys like, you know, from all different levels. You know, females like Brooke Danielle. You wrestled her.
Brooke.
You know, is it weird wrestling somebody in front of just your peers than it is a live crowd? 'Cause is it more judgmental for you?
It's to me, you know, it's having fun. While I can't knock it, we was a bunch of guys get together and you're in front of all the workers, and you know you're eating on each other vibes and stuff. It was fun. You know, you really have fun there. You know, you not really have to worry about. You do stupid things that you never done in wrestling. You don't do wrestling. You can have fun with them. You know, and I wrestled against Sonny Kiss. You know, I did things that nobody would do. You know, I bit Sonny ass in the ring. You know, I said, "You put your ass in my face, I'm gonna bite it," and I actually bit it.
You went double or nothing, huh?
Yeah, I went, and then everybody was like, "You know, I'm a sick fuck." I was like, "Okay," and I gave him a kiss, and everybody was like, "Oh shit," you know. It's wrestling, you know. Yeah, I love Sonny Kiss to death. You know,
Remarkable.
He is the man. He's incredible.
Yeah,
You
breaking
know, and I
stereotypes.
am so happy what he getting. You know, it's a lot of incredible wrestlers that didn't make it. You know, Corvus Fair. I know that's Roach.
Yeah,
When he
Corvus.
started
Yeah,
there.
Corvus.
Corvus Fair shouldn't even be at the independent. He should be where Jay Lethal was at. You know, I always thought that. You know, but I don't know what happened with him. You know what I'm saying? But I think he should have been there. It was a guy named J.T. Jobber. He was like the new Bob Backlund.
JT
You
Jobber
know,
was great.
He should have been there. Pinky Sanchez should have been there. Chris Dixon is not there, but he's there. You know, these guys make their names, but they should have been in the highlights, you know, in
Sure.
the WWE and stuff like that, or at the, what they call it, WWE now?
Yeah, WWE.
Yeah.
You know, those guys, a lot of guys that WWE just walk by. And these are hard-working guys, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because WWE won't buy, but do you guys think, I'm sorry, you JYs, do you think, you know, a place like All Elite Wrestling, you know, they're breaking down that barrier. You know, they signed Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela and Penelope Ford, right?
The AEW or something?
Yeah,
like that?
AEW, yeah.
All Elite
You know,
Wrestling.
You know, do you think now, you know, for some reason, the WWE hasn't signed those guys that you just mentioned, unfortunately. Do you feel like that is the place where, okay,
Well,
we can sign these guys so they can prove themselves?
you know what? Sometimes you need a little fire under another company. You know, WWE runs everything. They're the top dog.
Sure.
Now they got somebody to put a little bit of fire. You know, TNA, whatever.
Yeah, Impact.
The Impact was not an Impact. They wasn't making that strong noise like, you know, like WCW was like other company would kept fire under the WWE because you know WWE had changed their policy because WCW was doing their thing and WWE had to change. You know, they had to go for the era. What they call the bad boy era or whatever,
Yeah,
attitude era.
Attitude, yep.
Yeah, you know, different companies make people change their gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? And this is what people like. You know, now you got another company, and I hope it really goes successful because you know. Like I said, Impact was supposed to have been the next WCW. You know, ECW was another Impact company. It was making the WWF look. You know, because a lot of fans started going to ECW.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was like, oh shit, there's another company, ECW. But ECW couldn't compete with WWF because of money wise. It's hard to have that kind of money that Vince had. You know, WCW had that big money to do it. Then their product started to fall apart. You know, once NWO era, it was too much NWO. You know, it was too much Wolfpack, this pack, the hell. You know, it was Latino Warriors. It was too many of them.
Yeah.
Who's the workers now? You know, who's the regular workers?
Yeah. I guess Ric Flair, right? But the Four Horsemen, right?
You know, the Four Horsemen was like the greatest thing in the world at that time.
Yeah.
You know, it was a thing. Like when Nation Integration came out, wow, this is awesome. You know, and now you see all these three people the team. Why don't you make a 6-man tag? Get it over with.
Yeah,
sure.
You know, why don't you just make a 6-man tag and call it a day? You know, and then they make it like WWE never had a women tag team champion. I'm like, what do you forget? The Hearts back in the day, the Lady Hearts, they were tag team champions.
Of course.
You know, WWE always had the tag team champions at one time for women.
Yeah.
They had the heavyweight. It's like, oh, now this
now
is
it's trendy
new.
though. Yeah, it's trendy now.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
to.
This is new.
But you know, some of it is just due like the women's pay-per-view WWE just had, but other companies have been doing that prior to WWE. But it's not as mainstream.
It's been running that for years
For
with
sure.
its shows and stuff like that.
Believe me.
You know,
I was in the rec center in the heat for a double show. They had a Diamond show, and then they had the men's show right afterwards. And oh my god, I was sweating like I think they even ran out of like beverages because it was so hot that day.
Yep. I was there for that.
The one who used to start their own women's show was SUW.
WSU, Women Super.
Yeah.
WSU. I'm not sure what it stands
was running at Gino's Grusso School or something.
Yeah, they started out there, yes.
They were running. JEP even had a women's show, and it was a very successful. You know?
The Diamond Division was amazing.
A couple shows,
Yeah.
You know,
and then, you know, it's not nothing new.
Yeah.
You know, WWE makes it like it's something new, but it's not.
I mean, even like Sarah Del Rey, right? She's training in WWE. She was killing it in JEP back in the day.
She was killing independence.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Ruby Riott, you know, she was down in JEP. She was teaming up with the Dirty Daddy herself. One of the shows.
Yep.
It's a crazy world that people are finally now starting to acknowledge these women wrestlers, and they've been killing it for years. You know, I can think of Alicia. I mean, she was killing it too. I mean, all these women that you see really paved the way for a better world, right?
And then Lucha Underground came.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, oh my God, they're fighting women. They've been doing that for years.
That's sure they have.
I slapped a couple of women around. They probably slapped me around a couple of times in my year, you know. But, you know, it's what it is, you know. It's been happening. Mm-hmm. It's not WWE started it. It's been happening. You know, the mixed match and all that. They've been doing that for years. But it wasn't like you tag a woman in to wrestle another woman. It was the woman to wrestle that dude. And, you know, like that. And I think that's the way it is. I love Lucha Underground because the women came out and they whooped some ass. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I heard that's their next year is their last season. Or something.
Wow. I mean, did you feel the same way about, you know, all the wrestling? Do you feel like this is something that could be shattering, you know, for you know, anybody who wants some buzz, like MJF? I mean, these guys here are so popular on the East Coast that now they're bringing their talents to wherever, like Nevada or Chicago,
all
right?
over the place,
yeah, right? So this is something that's new, right?
I think the internet, like a lot of people, you ask older wrestlers who say the internet ruined wrestling. Yeah. I don't look at it that way. Because you could, like, MJF was from New York, right? Mm-hmm. So, New York, people know about him in Las Vegas.
Sure. Yeah,
great talker, phenomenal athlete.
Absolutely.
The internet, you know, you don't, like, when Magic was young, you probably had to send a VHS tape.
Yeah.
And a, you know, and an 8x10. And a biography written, you know, hi, my name is...
Yeah,
it's not like that no more. You send an email or, you know, a YouTube clip or something. You know, Joey Janela...
Sometimes you don't even
went viral.
Sometimes you don't have to send it. Yeah, like you said, because it's so viral, people just know about it, right?
And well, like you have to be a good wrestler first and foremost. But like Joey Janela, you know, I'm sure he'll admit, like he built his career by talking shit on Twitter, and like it works as long as you could back it up. Who cares?
Yeah, and the
internet opened up so many avenues, and you said, like you mentioned, All Elite Wrestling. the rumors are that their management has more money than Vince. I don't know. I don't have access to their financials. I wish I did, but I don't. It's
I'm trying to get signed.
Change is inevitable.
We got big wrestling fans sitting over there, man. She can tell you about more independent wrestlers than I don't even know, and she's really good
That's
about
true.
that. Ain't that right, Melly?
Also, too, I think it's the perfect foil. Like Joey Janela, he had Leo Rush to really wrestle, right?
Yeah.
And then what an amazing, when you pair two amazing wrestlers together, you just get that great matchup. It happens all the time. Taker
Absolutely.
Michaels. It happens across any company that you can look at. Magic. You weren't always the happy, friendly Magic we see today, right? I mean, you had, right?
Been happy and friendly. What are you talking about?
Right? There was some period of time that maybe it's a different Magic that we're familiar with currently, right?
Oh man, I go through different personalities, man. I was the carjacker, then I became Magic of the Charlotte Wrecking Crew. And then I went back to Macho Hump one time, whatever they told me to be. I started off as Macho Hump. And I was the carjacker. Carjacker's real name was Macho Hump.
Really?
And, walk around with a bat, hoodie, and all that stuff. With the Back Alley Boys back in the days. I was with a guy named Wayne Wu. And we started teaming up as the Back Alley Boys. And it was great. Put on the police, if police cars come in, and that was our intro. We run in, and lights go out. We run in the ring, telling people we're gonna rob them and stuff. I used to look at people's cars and say, "Yeah, you on that Ferrari outside? Yeah, it's gone now, buddy."
It's like a crime time before it
Yeah.
was, but
And
maybe a
then-
little bit more edgier.
Then I met up with Super, and I was like, "We gotta come with a gimmick, We're from the Isles of Charlotte." And Suba walking around singing "Shoe." And
Oh,
I'm
him
like-
with that damn shoe.
And I was like, you know what? He say "shoe." What the fuck I gotta say? And I start screaming, "I'm gonna hurt somebody, hurt." And they went, "Shoe, hurt." That's how we talk. We did interviews like that.
Yeah.
Hurt shoe. Never talk. It's hurt shoe. And we used to get in the ring. We started with masks. And I was like, Sue was like, "This is stupid." And I was like, "You're right." So we just took off the mask and started wrestling, and then we got a little bit of name, we made the Hit Squad look good all the time. And, I was the old man in JAP, always been the old guy in JAP. But I became more a trainer than a wrestler. But they wanted to give something to Suba. So Fat Frank said, "Take Suba under your wing." And that's when I went back into the ring and became the Charlotte Wrecking Crew. First we was going to be the Sheep Burgers or something. And I was like, "That's stupid." We're from the Middle East. I said, "I was like, from nowhere from the Middle East, man." And I was like, and then we just came up with the Charlotte Wrecking Crew, and Suba took off. And I'm a little upset because Suba retired, left wrestling. When his brother went into the service, he just felt lost. And he felt lost because, tell you the truth, he felt lost when JP wasn't booking him no more. And we lost the contract with ECPW out in Delaware. And we went down to Ohio Valley. When we went down to Ohio Valley, that's when I saw the look of Suba's face. They told us to lose weight. They wanted me to get bigger in the arms and stuff. And I saw the loss in Suba's face. And, and I was not taking steroids. I don't give a shit. I was like, nah, I'm not going to get no bigger than I am. I'm a fat guy. I'm going to stay fat. And that's how I felt, Right now, I wouldn't be talking to you if I took steroids. I'd be dead,
Yeah,
Something I didn't want to do.
and we're glad you didn't because you're still here and talking to us now.
37 years now?
Yeah, when you see some of your friends,
Seen a lot of my friends pass away, died of
must
heart
be hard.
attacks, drugs,
Sure.
a lot of things, man. Suicidal, every time you turn around, a guy and they pass away. I have a bad habit. A lot of people tell me I have a bad habit. I call people out of nowhere. I'll just fuck with you. I'll call you 2 o'clock in the morning, like, hey man, what are you doing? Damn, I ain't here for you in 2 years. Yeah, well, I'm just checking up on you. Or I'll tell them, hey, you're fat, and they hang up on them. You know, they're like,
Yep.
fuck it, Magic. You know, I'm like, damn, I ain't here for you for years. You know, I do things like that because, you know, I want to keep people knowing that I'm still around and I'm still thinking of them.
Sure.
On my Facebook, I got over 5,000 people, and I have another Facebook. And I just hit everybody on holidays. If you're on my Facebook, blah, 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 happy holiday, or you suck. You know, whatever I feel in the mood to say, and then they'll call me back like, who the fuck? I haven't heard you in years.
Some people deserve some coal, right? So
Yeah, just having fun, man. I love people, man. You know.
that's a good way to be. You know,
Yeah.
you know, every time I see you, like I said, you know, it's always something new that I learn about you that just gets me to appreciate you even more and more. You know, when you see like some potential, like somebody with full potential, like a guy like Trent Acid, right? That's the one I always kind of use. You know, this guy was on the verge of being a superstar.
He should have been a superstar.
Yeah, he should have been.
But, you know, the demons got to him.
Yeah.
Let's be truthful.
Yeah.
The demons got
Sure.
to him. You know, a lot of guys get hurt. They do a lot of these crazy things, and they think that's the best way to go, you know, because they want to continue. Like I said, back in my days, when you wrestle, you got hurt. You didn't get paid. So a lot of guys wind up taking other sustenance, drugs, or basically, let's put it that way, to keep going. You know, to keep the pain, you know, kill the pain temporarily, but actually it kills you at the end.
Yeah. You know, like, is that why you want to help people? If you see some of the signs, you try to go out of your way? And,
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always argue with people. I'm against steroids. I'm 100% against steroids. You know, I argue with people. You don't need that, man. Do the hard work.
Yeah, right?
You
It pays
know,
off in the end, right?
Yeah, you do the hard work. You know, if you want to be that person, you don't need fucking steroids and drugs. Tell you the truth. You know, if you get hurt, you stay home and heal up and come back 100 and more. Better, you know. Taking drugs and painkillers and stuff in your wrestling, I think that'll destroy your whole life after a while, you know, because you're depending on that painkiller. And that painkiller guy gets stronger because that painkiller starts to wear off. Take your fucking time off. Wrestling is always going to be here. You know, if you're that good and you claim you're that good, you're going to be here. I never in my life I ever claimed I was good. I'm just lucky I'm wrestling. I'm just there, you know. But if you're claiming that you're that good, you don't need them drugs. You really don't. You heal up and come back stronger. That's it.
Yeah. You know, Jay-Wise, do you feel the same way? You know, do you see rub off on you when it comes to seeing, like, if people need help or people want, you know, or even calling some people in the morning like that? Like, you know, does that good nature rub off on you being around him?
I think I've always been like a good-natured person, but I like Magic's very, what's it called? Like motivational.
Sure.
I could be having a bad day and I'll be like, oh, you know, forget this. I don't want to be nice to people. And then you talk to Magic and it's like you forgot you were mad and you're just a nice guy and fun to be around. So he's very, he's like a tumor. He just kind of like grows on you and you can't, it's just a little morbid to say, but you can't, he's there and you can't, he's like a growth you can't get rid of and you don't want to.
Yeah. Well, that, you know, I kind of see the compliment in there. That's like, you know, when you guys, how did you guys first become friends and think about this Fat Boy pairing? You know,
I don't know. This guy was washing my car or something.
was he in like Daisy Dukes or something?
Yeah. He was like, "I want
You know,
your
you do
girlfriend."
something one time and you never let you live it down. No, I think it was UWA Elite,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, Ryan T. He was DJ RJ at the time. He was teaming up with Magic, Team Turn Up, and he said, "Hey, I got this guy John. He's J-Wise. He's gonna manage us." And Magic was like, "Okay." And you know, it came together there. We, you know, the three of us, me, Ryan, and Magic, had a lot of I guess natural chemistry. We had a lot of fun at like the Middlesex County Fair. They were the UWA Elite Tag Team Champions at the time. We had a lot of fun there against the Rogues, against I forget the other teams. I remember the Rogues, but a lot of people, a lot of fun.
Because you beat them all, right? No.
Pretty
Well,
much.
you know, I came in as a fat boy.
Oh yeah, with
Big-
Biggie.
Yeah,
Biggie.
you know,
Biggs.
Biggie is the one of the founders of the Fat Boys. I came up one day with the group and we wrestled together a few times. And you know, Biggie had he wanted to stay where he was at, and I stayed where I was at. So we didn't connect as much as we did.
Yeah.
And they had to fill in for Fat Boy. Big Dan came in.
Oh yeah, Big Dan.
I love
that.
Dan.
Was,
You
yeah.
know,
Dan's the best.
I know his whole family. You know, I helped his brother train.
KTB, yeah, right.
You know, at that time his brother was named New Wave.
Oh yeah, the other brother, New Wave.
And I still trained New Wave, and his girlfriend was Roxy. What they call her? Gabrielle now.
Gabby Gilbert.
Gabby.
Yeah, I don't know what her
Gilbert.
name
She
was back
Roxy
then, but
something at that time. And I remember they were in high school. I got pictures of her in her graduation. You know, they gave me a graduation picture of their prom
That's
and
nice.
stuff. And I think it's sweet because, you know, I trained her. I trained Rebecca Payne.
Right.
I helped train Dawn Marie, but she went to ECW. They trained her. Letro. I helped train Devin Storm's wife, you know, and Devin Storm was there, man, you know. They used to open the school just for them to train, just privacy. You know, Al Snow's ex-wife, she was trained at Jersey.
Bobcat.
Bobcat, yeah.
Awesome.
And, you know, we had that little training there at Jersey All Pro, and I had fun, man. You know, I really love training. A lot of people didn't understand. I didn't care if I wrestled. You know, I helped train Charlie Haas to get better because Charlie Haas actually was trained with Chandra at Iron Mike Sharp School, and I didn't see it. I was like, why don't you team with your real brother? And they came down to Jersey All Pro, and
That's Haas, yeah.
yeah, and they started learning and training, and the best people they wrestled against was Hit Squad. You know, their chemistry was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another shame too, Russ. That was another
Yeah.
star in the making. You definitely, but yeah, I mean, if
This
you're
is my point where I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, where drugs will kill you.
yeah, but not a bad substitution in something Benjamin, you know, because he's
Benjamin is
phenomenal.
naturally normal,
very,
but,
very
Yeah.
but still, it would have been better
Yeah,
to have your
it-
brother. You
sure,
know,
yeah.
matter what, your brother's your brother.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be with my brother, matter what, you know. But it happened, you know, and
Yeah.
they filled in with Benjamin. Benjamin holds his own ground.
Yeah, it does.
You know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying?
Yeah, what and awesome. Both tag teams were absolutely
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, one.
Both beautiful backgrounds of amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you watch amateur wrestling? Do you try to admire?
I'm more into it now because my son is into it.
Okay.
You know, he's in high school. He's his freshman year, and he came to 6th in New York. And,
Wow.
Yeah. So he's, you know, he's upset.
Uh,
He wants to be number one, and I told him when I did it, when I wrestled for John Adams High School, I wasn't number one. I sucked.
really.
Oh my God, I lost every match. And I was like, oh no, this ain't gonna happen no more. And I went to found out where I learned gym. I said, fuck this. You know, I played football. You know, I was a football player, and I tried to do wrestling, and I got my ass handed. And I was like, you know, this will never happen again. And then my junior year, I was whooping ass. I went to Empire State Games. They don't have no more. But I went to number 2 in the city. You know, I was like, I'm not letting nobody whip my ass no more like that. And, you know, I went to the gym. I went to wrestling training. I used to go. They used to have a training school in Brooklyn. It was can't remember that school now. Damn, too many chair shots. I went there. John Adams had their own school because I'm actually went to John Adams High School in Queens to start my amateur year, and I was loving football. You know, I played for half a year in Curtis, played football in the following. I started at John Adams wrestling, and in my junior year, my moms came and moved to Staten Island. My mom said, "You moving to Staten Island with me?" And I was like, "Fuck." You know, and I went to a school with no fucking wrestling. You know, I was like, oh my God. And I used to sneak in John Adams High School, and they used to think I was a junior. I was a junior in John Adams High School, but they noticed that my grades were 0. The coach is like, "Where's your report card?" And I was like, "Oh." And then they found out for the 3rd month. And then I did PAL. That's where I got hooked up in PAL football, and then I ran to the PAL. And that's how I started wrestling amateur, and I loved it. And my senior year, I didn't wrestle because I had to get to work. I had a little kid coming. Everything was coming. I was playing football. I got to. At least I could say I got to travel to try out for the Kansas City Chiefs. It was so awesome.
Really?
Yeah, and we got booted third game. I got to play against Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah, I got the first to run in there for 10 minutes against Dallas, and it was like, all right. And then I saw myself getting on the plane coming back home to New York. That was the end of my football career. I was like, oh, no, you're not a high school graduate. You're not a high school diploma. I was like, oh, man. They say you played great football, man, but you're too little. And plus, you don't got nothing behind you. At that time, the NFL, you had to have a good high school diploma at least. They let a lot of people walk on. Kansas City, man, I had a great time.
I'm sure. I mean, the way you just spoke about the smile on your face is definitely, priceless for sure. I mean, J-Wise, do you enjoy sports?
Not really. Mostly just wrestling. That's it.
No, you didn't want to become a Jets fan?
You want to play with porno movies?
I was never really into sports. I don't know. I'm no athlete, so I never really got into that
Never
stuff.
acquired. I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, too much playing with porno magazines and
Yep.
stuff. Figure
Oh
that.
my god.
Well, in some places that's considered a sport.
Yeah, it's funny how you guys have this chemistry, like you said. You've managed the Fat Boys, along with JP sometimes.
Yeah, JP a few times. Yeah.
Whether it's Big Dan, Wynette, somehow you guys just always seem to make it work. You always come out, you wearing the big hat and the chains.
Dr. Seuss hat,
When you see those crowds at the UWA Elite or SWF, how does that energy make you feel? Because it must be must be thrilling to get out there, right?
There's nothing like it in the world. It's like I don't know if orgasmic is the right word, but it's like it's like electric. Like you really, wrestlers will say the crowd was electric. It's so true. Like I'm nobody special, but like to have that, all the attention is on you, and I'm part of. The Fat Boys were the steak. I was the parsley on the plate. But, sometimes you eat a little piece of the parsley with the steak, you know what I mean? But you making them look better, you know what I mean? And just learning from them being there. But that feeling, there's nothing like it in the world.
Truthfully, wrestling takes you away from reality. Mm-hmm. You become that superstar, that superhero, or that villain.
For 10 minutes.
For that 10, 20 minutes of your life. Usually you're home working a crappy job, some of us, and you have problems like everybody else does.
Sure.
And just for me, wrestling, it takes me away from hard life. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up every morning, go to work, no matter what. You gotta deal with attitudes, traffic, and everything. It's not like I'm driving a brand new car and or flying over the world. But wrestling for me takes me away from reality. It gives me that moment to be with people that enjoy being around you, and it makes you feel better, like you're that star that night. And then when you go home, you're just regular. Hey, Andrew, Mm-hmm. Yeah, you forgot to clean that area in that area, floor like that. When you're wrestling, who gives a shit about cleaning? Like, that was a great match, man. But that hip toss you took was pretty rough. Yeah, that's the way it is. You like the praise of people giving you, Matter if you don't get the praise, you like the boos, Magic, you suck. I was like, oh, thank you. That's how I feel. I'm there. I try. I hate when somebody like, oh, that was boring. A lot of guys say that, but why don't you get in that ring and try it?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's one thing I've always tried to do is respect the athletes, because even if they weren't good that night, at least
everybody has a bad night. My night is every day.
Yeah, well, at least they get out there and they're trying to improve. They're not just sitting on, down and
Me, I'm down on myself in every match.
Really?
Man. I think I suck. I go around like, oh man, that was horrible. And you're like, nah, that was good, man. I like that. I'm like, really? I thought it suck.
No, it's great.
And then I go ask this one over here, and she'll be like, oh, that shit was horrible. So, oh man, when you gonna retire?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't
What a
think they would
good
say
friend,
that.
right?
Yeah.
The one helps you get around. She helps me sometimes.
Yeah.
To get around. But oh my God, she'll tell you suck.
I believe it.
You know,
Yeah, and she's really rough.
really.
Yeah, right, Melly.
I'm just honest.
See?
Some of the fans.
She was like, "Why don't you retire?"
really?
No,
No. We don't want you to retire.
She was like, "Oh my God, I never seen an old man like that in my life. It looked like you're going backwards."
You know, She's
mean.
Really, yeah. I guess some of the fans are
Yeah,
can have a mean
I
streak.
never had a friend that spit on me.
Really. Well,
Like, you stink. You suck.
no, I mean,
I'm glad the refs beat you up.
I hope that's not the case.
She's a fan. Yeah, she's a big fan. She's lying.
You know, when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame, right, at JP, you know, that one sticks out to me. You know, when they bestowed you this plaque, your peers were recognizing the hard work that you put in. You know, that must have been a nice moment.
Do you want to know the truth about that?
Yeah.
The truth about me being in the Hall of Fame, I wasn't going to show up.
Really?
Yeah, I had a bad taste with JAP. You know, I had a hate and love relationship with them. After a while, you know, we won the titles and then we lost the titles, and they just let us go. It was nothing else. They never called us back. I was a little bit upset about that. You know, I thought we was on top of our game, and at that moment, I was upset. But then again, Super wasn't there. And I was like, what's going on? Super didn't want to be part of Jersey All Pro no more. I don't know why. But he gave me that taste. Like, I'm not going to be there.
It kind of pulled the rug, right?
Yeah. Like, you know, I'm like, what's going on? He said, I don't want no parts of the JAP. And I was like, why? So I'm figuring out maybe it's something they said to him and he's not telling me. So when I got to JAP, I didn't know who was ducking me. I was taking my time, and Kane D was calling me like 100 times. Where are you? Where are you? You're supposed to be here at 7:30. We got there at 8:30, and they was like, "You're the first inductee in Jersey All Pro," and I was like, "Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it." And I was gonna go on the mic and tell them go fuck themselves and stuff like that. And then Jay Lethal got on. I didn't know Jay Lethal was the one that was gonna do it. And I heard Jay Lethal's talk, and all the JAP students that really was part of my life, they were all there. And when I came out, I was expecting that, you know, and it really touched me right there because, you know, Jay Lethal was really going in, and he was telling me how he really felt. And Roach was there, Sam, the guy who played the Sheik.
Oh,
basically 20-something wrestlers I trained were there that was under me all the time. And it felt so different than how I felt. You know, I felt the love, and KD's like, you're not. And I'm thinking, you retire me. Because once you say Hall of Fame, you're done. And Kane D, Loki, Homicide, and Steve Mack were the ones who were like, no, you're not done yet. And then they brought the JAP back after Frank passed away. Yeah. And I didn't make that show because I was already committed to another show. And I was going to pull out. But I say I can't do that because I already committed. I was booked 2 months before anything happened to Fat Frank, and they had that show the same day. And it was at my hometown, Staten Island. But when I went in there, man, I'm telling you, man, it was hard. You know, I was mad, but I spoke to them. They said, it's not over yet. Even Fat Frank walked up to me and said, it's not over yet, man. You know, the Hall of Fame, I don't think you retired me. That fucked up. And Frank was like, no, we got more plans for you. And then my heart started feeling more better about it, you know. And it was before I even walked out. In fact, Frank was talking to me. He's like, you still want to do this, man? You sure you don't retire? And I was like, nah, I don't want to retire, man. Fuck you, retiring me. And he was in the back, and he patted me on the back. Him and Kane said, no, we're not retiring you yet. So after Frank, they had the old school Battle Royal, and they all sat back there. Chris Dickinson, you know, the whole Susu family and your hit squad, you know, the hit squad. It was great because students, and they all with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were talking to me, and I'm like, okay, who I'm putting over? Over the Battle Royal. And they was like, no. And actually, I believe it was supposed to be Dr. Hirsch was going over.
Uh-huh.
And they all say, fuck that. Yeah, I heard homicide and fucking Loki was like, that's not happening. Told KD, no, Magic's going over. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, Steve Mack was there, like, no, Magic's going over. And then, boom, it happened. Then they did the second show we did where the youth taxed me, and they put a bit me, Jay Lover, and they couldn't find another guy they wanted because most of the guys are not active. You know, the guys I went wrestling, they wasn't active, and they wound up bringing Crazy Ivan in. And then me and Crazy Ivan had our match, and that was in the JP. You know, they had the new show come up, and I heard they did okay. It was, you know, Steve tried, man. Steve Mack tried, man. But, you know, the spirit's gone. Yeah, I think they should change the name and try something new. Yeah, I think Steve would be a great booker.
Yeah, he had phenomenal matches. I mean,
You know?
who else would think of like KTV and Schlack, you know?
Yeah.
And like in a blood feud too, like not even the blood shed, just the rivalry that based, you know.
I believe he would be a great booker. You know, I watched Steve grow up.
Sure.
You know, I remember Steve was like 19 years old when he wrestled. 18 years old. He was a young kid. Him and Loki, Homicide, they were all young guys. These guys now can run they could run the businesses.
Sure.
You know?
You know what's funny too? Because everybody on that show, you know, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Deonna Purrazzo, I mean, within what, a year, all got signed. Not that I don't think they would have got, but that JAP rub always had to be a little special if you got that rub from anybody. I mean,
Right.
you know, KTB was on Evolve, right? I mean, all these guys are just scratching at the
Now the new company I gotta say is coming up pretty strong is Pro Wrestling Magic and SWF. You know, SWF is doing a lot of shows.
Yeah.
But they're not doing any shitty matches. You know, shitty shows. They're putting on quality shows now.
Absolutely.
Quality and quantity.
It changed from when they started. Now they're getting better, you know. Another company is running quietly, like I said, Pro Wrestling Magic, another one. You know, they bring in stars, you'd be surprised. And they're running pretty good, you know.
Battle Club Pro.
Battle Pro, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pro Wrestler was it Pro Wrestler? It used to be something else before they changed their name. Buck.
Oh, Wrestle Pro, yeah. Wrestle Pro, yeah.
Wrestle Pro was the top dog one time, you know, and then they changed their names and started slow down.
Yeah,
but they're still
PWS.
up there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, come on. They got their guys in TNA, you know what I'm saying? Total, whatever. Yeah.
Impact.
I mean, they can't be doing better than WoW because they're bringing in Virgil and the $1 Million Man. I mean,
Oh, of course. If Virgil's there, it's the top of the.
For some reason, to tell you the truth, WoW is a good company.
Yeah, it's
I have
awesome.
nothing against them, you know, but I think they should be more up on the top names on the internet.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know?
yeah, I love WoW.
And I think they got good product, you know. Joey's crazy as hell, you know, but he does his he gets the people in, you know.
you know who else is killing it too? GCW, right?
GCW.
And CCW is still doing
yes.
awesome.
CCW was the top dog as too with Ring of Honor. They were running.
Yeah.
They were going back and forth to
CCW,
Japan and
Oh my
everything.
god,
Yeah.
it was crazy as growing up because JP was kind of like the middle ground of CCW and ROH because all that would come through back and forth. Like you didn't have to go to. I mean, if you wanted to, you could, or you could go up to New York and see ROH. But if you just stood right in Rahway, they all just passed
Think
through.
about it, man. Jersey All Pro fought against both of them.
Yeah.
And they was in each other. You know, it was no. It was the internet hate wars, you know, but they all work together. This is what I like about wrestling company. They all need to work together.
Yep.
That's why I'm excited about the trifecta because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're bridging gaps between other companies. It's unheard of. I mean, look, Wrestle Pro owner Pat Buck wrestled at a Pro Wrestling After Dark show, right?
Right.
And
he winds up wrestling for SWF too.
Yep.
And look, guys from CCW like the Rep, they're coming after you and Mac. I mean, you talk about any match, any promotion. You know, they are weaving a different fabric. I mean, you could literally be on a different show defending your SWF title.
Right. That's the whole
yeah.
idea they trying to build where we can do that.
And
You know.
there's no champion advantage anymore because you could literally be on somebody else's turf, and I mean you might have the advantage of,
But think about it, SWF is famous for that now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You know, when you look at the trifecta,
around, right?
yeah, when you look at the cards, right, and you see that the trifecta can literally bring in any match that they want, any superstars they want. What are the matches that you're looking forward to?
Wow, that's a big question.
Have you put any thought into that? Maybe what you would like to see, what you think?
I don't necessarily know about specific matches. There's a lot of guys I'd like to see given a chance, and like people don't because SWF used to have not the greatest name. A lot of people didn't want to be involved, but now with this. The trifecta, I believe they're calling it the Academy, the camp they do. It did the last camp. They got like 38 people that participated, and like 35 of them have been booked on trifecta shows. Like, that's a serious thing. And you can be seen in front of like 15, 16, something like that, promoters. So there's a lot of, if you're young and hungry, I think you should come and get involved and try to be seen. I'd like to see, for selfish reasons, I manage the delivery boy, Tony Cini. I'd like to see him get, some bigger opportunities. But I think it's like you need to... Wrestling is like that. You need to grab the brass ring and, scrape your knuckles sometimes to get what you want. But there's a lot of, there's guys I'd like to see, there's a lot of guys from Beyond Wrestling. I'd like to see, what's his name? Wheeler Yuta. I like him. Travis Huckabee from Chikara. There's a lot of Fire Ant from Chikara.
I like Hot Sauce.
Yes, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. He's actually one of my favorite wrestlers right now.
Sure.
I'd like to see more women. In the past, SWF has had... She's not the best women's division. It was kind of like there was a women's champion, but there wasn't necessarily matches all the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phenomenal female wrestlers out there right now. Willow Nightingale, who unfortunately just got hurt.
Speedy recovery.
Solo Darling.
Maria Manic.
Names? Yes,
right.
Maria Manic. A lot of those... No, Karen Q. She just got signed.
Phenomenal pickup too.
Tasha Steeles.
Tasha Steeles. Yes. For sure.
There's a lot of people, and for people that change the subject a little bit, people that there's wrestling fans that don't like women's wrestling, or they're stuck in the old times and say, oh, women shouldn't be wrestling. Some of those women are better than a lot of the guys.
Yeah.
There's a crazy amount. Plus, as hard as it is to be involved in wrestling as a male, those women have it so much harder. And some of the way, the classy ways they go about things. Yeah. There's a lot of those women. Maria Manic, if I was in the alley and Maria Manic came up, I would just give her my wallet and run away.
Yeah, she's a man eater.
Exactly. Those, some of those women, they're really kicking ass. But I'd like to... Your original question, I'd like to see, anybody that's hungry to come to SWF, come to the trifecta, show what you have, and, see what your future is.
It's kind of the cool part, too, because, other companies say, they give a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? SWF, and, they have the Hardcore Championship.
Yep.
They have the Tag Team Championship. They have funny matches. They have the Legends. And not just any legends, the legends you want to see at your show. I mean, you want to see guys like Tito Santana or Sandman and stuff like that. They're not just some, they're the ones that people want to check out.
Do SWF has a women's champion?
Yeah.
We were talking about that, yeah.
A lot of people don't know, Amy Lee is another.
Oh, Amy Lee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Missy is another good wrestler. These are big girls who put it down. You know, a lot of people don't give Amy Lee her credit, man. That's one hell of a woman, bro.
Oh, Amy Lee is insane.
I think she should be one of the top girls as well. Tara too. Tara's a big girl.
Tara.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful, and strong. You know.
Yeah.
That lucky guy.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's not so cookie cutter anymore. WWE. I mean, and I remember Impact was kind of like the first one to really kind of do that with Awesome Kong, right? They brought in somebody who didn't fit the molds for television, and even if you go back to Glow, I mean, Matilda the Hun, right? These are not the cookie cutter women that you see.
But if you want to think about it, WWF did it too.
Yeah.
I remember Bertha Faye.
Bertha Faye, yeah. They kind of did a little bit, but
the Japanese girl with the spinning backhand that kills you.
Oh yeah,
Aja Khan.
She ain't hold that back. I mean,
Sure.
but
Sure.
these girls were like, those were hard.
Sure.
They were like really rough.
Yeah.
So they always had that mold. Me personally, I think you should have wrestling who you are. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have to be the best looking fucking guy in the world. You gotta be 6 feet and look like a beach bum, or a female have to look like a model. If you're that shape, you're that shape. If you're good, you're good. You know what I'm saying? And I like the WWE because they went back to, they didn't have a perfect size woman, but they have a beautiful big woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But rough is rough. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You gotta
handle
I
it.
think they should be who you are. I don't think you have to be the finest looking woman in the world to be a part of wrestling. If you're a big, strong, mean looking, look like a truck driver woman, that's who you want in the ring. That gives you the character and people, You're not picking pretty people all the time.
Sure.
Like me, I'm an ugly guy,
I mean,
So that's why WWE
I still have a
choose me,
soft
'cause
spot
I'm ugly.
for Kelly Kelly.
Kelly, okay, she's a pretty woman.
She's half
you know?
Jewish. I
Why,
love
'cause
that.
she's Jewish? That makes you happy?
I win by default. Yeah, that's why she wins by default. There's not too many Jewish ladies that look like that wrestle. So, she.
True.
Yeah. So she wins by default in my book. So. It's.
I love people who they are. I don't care if you're Jewish,
Yeah, me
Chinese,
too.
Japanese.
But it's just so
yes.
funny because that's like the only.
Me, I like big girls.
Big girl?
I like chubby girls.
Okay, we all have it.
I love a girl kid.
It was so funny. I was talking to Scott Steiner. We were interviewing him, and I said to him, he said, "Oh, we're gonna go out after this and pick up some girls." So I said, "Oh, okay, cool." And he's like, "What's your type?" And I said, "Well, I like short girls." And he's like, "You like midgets?" And that's a quote on that. I wouldn't use that term. And I was like, "No, I mean, I have nothing against little people, but I was like, I prefer somebody like 5 foot tall, maybe 5'5",
All right.
And he was just like, and he looked at me like I had 2 heads, and I'm like, wait, but that's I just like somebody who I'm taller than. I don't want to be looking up like that's my preference.
I love them all.
Yeah, but he was awesome. Scott Steiner is the coolest dude.
They could be 7 feet tall. I don't care. You look
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Damn, I'm with you. Hey, baby,
Yeah,
got a little
like
meat on
Stacey
you.
Keebler. I love Stacey Keebler,
Dude.
and I'm like, but I would look like a donut next to her, right? You know what I mean?
Like those long legs, huh?
Yeah, but I mean
Some
like,
leg man.
Yep.
but I was like
short Jewish and with legs. He
Yeah, like
likes
Alexa Bliss
nice legs.
is perfect because I'm like I could look strong in front of her, right? I could reach like some like a bag of chips, right, or some cups in the cabinet. Like I'm not getting in the ring. I'm not like a superhero like you guys. Like I could look strong in other ways by getting things that she can't reach.
I got you, baby.
Like I'll serve a purpose at least. I can go to the grocery store and pick something up for you that you can't reach. Like
Fuck it. If she's 6 feet tall, 6'7", it's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, can you reach that for me? Thanks. I don't have to get it.
yeah, but I feel like I'll have a purpose, right? So like
Yeah, it'd be my purpose to send her to do it. I can't reach that, baby. You go ahead and take care of it. And while you're at it, open the can. I can have some soup. I make sure it'll be on the top so you can make the soup.
Yeah, I'd be like,
You gotta think like that, man. Why you gotta get out of bed? I said, babe, I feel like for soup, but it's way up there,
yeah, I
Can you
guess.
cook it while you're getting it?
Sure. I can
The
see
tea
that
bag's
point.
up there too. I like a cup of tea. The honey's on the other side.
No, you gotta take
The
care.
lemon
You gotta
is over there. You make sure it's on the top shelf. So you can go get it.
you gotta take care of your lady. You gotta.
She can take. Yeah,
You
I'll take care of her.
you have to. You gotta pamper her too, right?
Oh, I'll pamper her. Yeah, go make me some tea. I buy it. She cooks it. Hey, it's a good thing. Nah, stop. I'm nothing like that.
No, you look like a big softie, and we know you are because of your dedication to the children and your fans. I mean, they know firsthand that Magic's a good guy for sure.
I hope so. Some people say no. She said they're like, hell no, he's evil.
I don't say these mean things.
She's mean, bro.
Me.
I don't even know why I hang out with her.
Well, yeah, I guess it's good to have a little contrast, right? Because
She
Yeah,
puts me
keeps you
down.
humble,
She
right?
tells me to get out of wrestling. I'm an old bastard.
it keeps you humble, right? You know,
She
to
said,
have-
"Wow, when you gonna retire?" Because my grandfather retired.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't see that day until
Wow,
you're
she
ready.
even said, "I can't. I'm so old. I shouldn't even walk a dog."
Really, that's
Yeah,
that's
it's bad.
terrible. That's terrible. You,
She said, "Don't touch my dog."
you could touch my dog if he lets you. I have some teeth marks because he won't let me pet him. But Magic, JY's, where can people get you guys on social media if they want to connect with you guys?
Hit me on Facebook, Andrew Morgan. You'll see me you'll see me and Dan and Felicia on my wall.
Dan, Mac.
It's Mac.
Dan.
Well, I
You said Dan.
Oh, Mac. My
You,
bad.
you replaced
Well,
your-
Mac is in back of it, the background. It's
Oh,
me and
okay.
Steve Mac. I mean, me and Dan.
Dan. Okay, Dan's in the back.
And
okay.
then the little squircle thing they put on there is heavy
Okay.
hitters. I'm always going to be a fat boy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a Fat Boys Nation page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just look up Fat Boys Nation. And there's a JY's page, too. It's got my beautiful face on it. It's not hard to find.
All right, guys.
And we'll be having a website putting up soon.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I can't wait to see what's on the website. You said there's going to be great videos and pictures, right? And
Yeah, food, us doing stupid things.
Awesome.
You know, beating up Melanie or her sister Karen. Messing with Donna, photographer.
Yep, Donna the photographer.
Yeah. Those are our favorite people.
Awesome guys to hear. And for us, we are Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us right here on Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can subscribe right here on YouTube. Or if you listen to us on the B Plus Player Network on all platforms, you can hit that subscribe button to catch up on this episode and past ones. And guys, again, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us here today at Wrestling IQ 101.
I'm sorry your ratings went down.
Hey, it was a pleasure. I hope we're back.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Next
see
time you have no other guests, we'll come back.
No, guys. We really do appreciate it, and you guys are welcome anytime.
He gonna be like, they'll bring them back. They'll lower. They lowered our rating. Nobody want to hear what we had to say. You should show the naked pictures of Melanie we have here.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
you can't show it on radio.
You can just describe them over there.
Yeah, we can describe it.
Well, guys, we'll see you soon, and thanks again to these guys for joining us.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.